KXNT, along with our guest, Dave Hinkson. Tonight we're talking, I don't know how I would describe it. I guess I would call it the real government. And there's a way of getting it. And there's a way of getting it. And by God, we've got to get busy and do it. Dave, you ready? We got a full board from all over the area.
Yeah, I'd like to make a couple quick comments real quick.
Okay.
For one thing, there was a big debacle here about the public lands in Nye County. Do you remember that?
Oh, and how?
Now, the Constitution says original jurisdiction shall be with the Supreme Court if there's a controversy between government agencies, okay?
Yeah.
A federal court in Las Vegas ruled that the public lands belonged to the feds and didn't back it with any viable supportive arguments. They just sort of blanketly ruled that way.
Yeah.
It wasn't their jurisdiction. The jurisdiction is a judicial jurisdiction, was supposed to hear that argument.
Yeah.
Since they dragged it into the maritime venue, what's that decision? Who owns the public lands? Now, I can prove the public lands belong to the de jure states and the de jure counties. It ain't an opinion. I can prove it.
I hear you.
We could talk about that for 20 minutes, but you probably don't want to get into the public lands issue.
We'll schedule you back real quickly, and I'd love to, because this is a story that people have got to become aware of, if they're not already. We've had two sagebrush rebellions.
I started the second one.
I know you did.
And I didn't sell out either.
Yet, huh?
And I never sold out.
No, and you're one of the very few that didn't. But Frankie Sue did.
Well, and so did somebody else. I don't want to mention his name. But anyway, listen, in case the listeners are wondering, I'm that guy from Idaho. I'm going to be in Idaho County.
I understand. Well, not until you straighten things out here in Nevada.
Oh, thank you, Lou.
We're not going to let you go.
To be exact, I'll be in the Grangeville area.
Oh, well, we got another caller from well, okay, let's take Ontario.
You can call me after June. I'll be up there.
Okay. Not if I can.
Not if you can help it.
Right. James over in Ontario, California. Thanks for waiting. Good evening. You're on KXNT with Dave Hinkson.
Yeah, he's going to be a Granger now.
Thanks a lot.
Is that called?
Anyway, yeah, I was listening to your program tonight, and David, you're right on the mark, and it's null and void as far as that decision, and I'm glad you said landed patents instead of otherwise, clouded title. And, yes, I go to the Juror Society meetings all the time.
That's where people should start to learn how to create the correct government. I encourage people to get involved with the societies you're talking about.
I gave Lou some stuff the other day that I think you ought to see, some cases.
Yeah. Oh, good.
That will take care of the cities.
Well, if he ever gets back to town, I'll show it to him.
What was that movie star that was working with the societies down there?
Pardon me?
Oh, I know who you mean.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, Juror Society in the Granada Forum.
Yeah, but he was out of California, and he was the biker in any which way but loose with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's John Quake.
Thank you.
But he's got a good program. Are you working with him?
No, but I've talked to him a couple times personally. He's
a very sincere guy, and he's really working hard. We need to get together and form these societies and create the de jure government. And once we have half a dozen of these governments and counties in place, we stand as one, and we need to go to the correct Supreme Court, and we need to take back our government.
Yeah, I was telling Lou the other day, I'm just about ready to file some motions and some writs on this judge that's got this buddy of mine in his municipal court on a so-called infraction from the city, no permit operating business.
Well, call the Ventura County Courthouse and order a copy of the Ventura versus Rodney King case. I think you'll find that's laid out exactly how you need it to sue the judge.
Yeah.
Right. That's because he's getting a contract within a couple of weeks. I'm going to send him that.
Okay. Thanks, James.
Okay. And hey, Lou.
Yo.
I will be getting that tape that you guys are putting up tonight.
Okay.
Okay. I will be sending for it, so save one for me.
We'll do it.
Okay.
I'd also like to make the comment, Lou, again. I want to clarify this. A statute is maritime.
A statute is what?
Maritime.
Right.
You cannot bring a statute, any statute cannot be put into a judicial courtroom.
Yeah.
What does IRS use when they bring you in?
Statutes.
What does the phony state of Nevada use when they bring you in?
Statutes.
So if you plead the 7th, what statute can they use?
None.
Boy, and there has to be a victim.
That's right.
And there has to be a 12-man jury to decide whether you need to be penalized or not, right?
That's right.
Well, that pretty well shuts down the illegal government. What we need is for people to understand these things.
That's all.
That's why we're on the air. There's no gain in this for us.
That's for sure. Well, yeah, there is.
Well,
our freedom.
Our freedom, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're not selling anything here.
Keith over in Los Angeles. Thanks for waiting. Good evening. You're on KXNT with Dave Hinkson.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Lou.
Hi.
I'm in a bit of a predicament. I got a traffic ticket for an expired tab. no seatbelt and an empty beer can that had been lying in the back of my pickup for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And
talk up a little, will you, Keith?
What's that?
Talk up a little bit.
Yeah, I had a traffic ticket.
Okay.
For an expired tab, an open container, which was a beer can in the back of my pickup, been lying there for a year, and then not wearing a seatbelt. But it was weird because I had to unbuckle my seatbelt to get out my wallet to show the cop my license. Anyway, it was like a couple $100, and I just was so PO'd that he wrote on the for not wearing a seatbelt that I just didn't pay it. Now it's gone to warrant. And so what I'm thinking, how can I go down to the courthouse and get this straightened out?
Well, you could go down to the courthouse. My advice to you is to always be very polite and not too argumentative. But sincerely go down there and ask for a hearing. And get one scheduled.
Okay.
Okay? When you get the hearing scheduled, see, my dad went to court in Salt Lake. He was involved in a car pileup where a bunch of cars stopped in front of him. And when he told the judge he wanted a judicial trial based upon the 7th Amendment, he dressed very conservative and he looked very respectable, because he is,
Yeah.
The judge didn't know what he was talking about, and what the judge said was, well, I'm going to do some checking on that, and, this is his response at the time. And next time they came, back to court, they don't want to admit if you got them cornered. What they'll do is find some excuse to dismiss it.
Yeah.
But see, the problem is you're driving around maritimely on a river of tar, and your car belongs to the state of whatever state you're in, because you've got a certificate of title, and the original paperwork is held by the state. When you buy a car, they send the paperwork to the state. And the reason you have to license your car is because you're getting permission to drive state property.
Yeah, I've done all that kind of research. The same two sheriffs pulled me over the next day and harassed me again, so I sold my car, and I've been riding my bike ever since. But when they first pulled me over, they started asking me all these questions. And I asked the one cop, I said, well, am I under arrest? And he said, no. And I said, oh, well, I can be on my way then. And he said, well, no. And so the other cop, he went into my cab in my truck and started searching through it. Well, fortunately for me, I had all this paperwork on sovereign citizenship and Supreme Court stuff and law books and stuff. And he came back out and told his cop buddy that apparently that I had all this. So anyway, they let me, because they said they were going to just take me to jail. I said, well, let's go. Arrest me. If you're going to ask me all these questions, you got to tell me my rights and all that. And I guess that's what scared them.
Well, they're afraid of being sued under Title 42s, The Rodney King versus Ventura case is really a Title 42 case, and it's a pretty good case. But what we're trying to do is get people to, when you go to court, you got to be aware they're afraid of the 7th, because if anybody makes it an issue, the whole house of cards would fall.
Yeah.
They can't even stand a clarification of this, okay?
Yeah.
So what we want to do is gently use it at this point to preserve our freedom while we educate others as to the big picture here. Because once enough people understand that the government has been seized by British forces, which is what's happened here, we are a Queen of England country here.
Make no mistake about it. Okay, I'm going to have to thank Keith and hold you for a couple of moments, Dave, while I remind everyone my name is Lou Epton.